You know what I'm mad about before we get into this season preview, SP3?
Let's hear this.
I'm mad we even have to do a season preview. I thought like when your team wins a title, why is the league continuing? I think it should just shut down. Basketball is over. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the NBA champions. We've peaked. Why is the game continuing? I think it should just be over. The NBA no longer exists. It ends. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the greatest regular season, postseason in NBA history. The Thunder are the champions.
Mm-hmm.
No more basketball. That's how I feel.
Like,
It should happen.
just so you're aware, there's no like. I know you just finished watching, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. There's no series finale. There's no series finale for basketball.
I know, but there should be, and it just happened.
There can't be. There can't be. You have to continue. You have to see if you could win another one, and then another one, and then another one, and another one.
It should just be over.
No.
I'm good.
No.
It can't get any better than this. I guess technically it can. You win a second, you win a third,
exactly.
But I don't want to go through. I don't want to go through that misery all over again, though. No, I'm good. I'm good.
At least look at the bright side. Look at the bright side, Jeremy. You had me as your support system last year.
Yeah.
You had me as your support system being like, don't worry. I know what's going to happen. I'm telling you what's going to happen here. It's going to go as this is. And look, it all worked out, didn't it?
It did.
Didn't it?
I'm a little concerned about this season. I think we're going to jump right into things here. We're going to talk about the defending NBA champion, the Oklahoma City Thunder, as they raise the banner. They get the rings tonight. They get these rings. This is a different ring, but they get a ring on top of maybe a ring tonight.
Do you get yours in the mail?
City. They should send me a ring, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I should get one as a longtime supporter, as someone like there's bigger fans than me. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm the biggest Thunder fan.
You're up there.
I do think I'm up there, but like I've never been to a home game. That is my goal in the coming years is to go to a home. Zach has invited me to the game, so at some point
I've been to a Laker home game. That's like that's a rule. You can't call yourself a real fan until you do that.
No, I want to. It's not that like I don't want to go. Obviously,
I'm kidding.
No, I know. Like I want to go, but I just time, funds, all that. It's all gotta come together, and it just hasn't. So yeah, there's bigger fans than me. Like people who got like season tickets and everything. Those are giant fans. Now, do I think I'm the biggest Thunder fan in Ohio? I might have that claim. I might have that.
You should shoot higher. You want to be the biggest Thunder fan outside of Oklahoma City.
And there's people like that travel internationally and stuff.
That's true.
That one's tough.
That's true. But not all of them is on YouTube 5 days a week. Probably more with 6 different shows. And get to push the agenda of the Thunder Nation. But I mean, the Thunder have to be considered one of the favorites for this coming season. They come back with basically their entire championship squad, and a lot of their championship squad, like we talked about at the end of last season, they're only going to get better. Like I said at the end of last season to you, Jeremy, I was like, that is the worst that Chet Holmgren will ever be during a playoff run. He's going to be better this year. For J-Dub, it might be we might have seen the maturation of the next superstar.
No wrist.
And
no wrist. No playoffs.
He could take a next step into that superstar kind of pantheon, and then Shai's just started his prime. His prime just started maybe a year and a half ago. So he's going to be great this year. He's considered a favorite for the MVP. You got Alex Caruso, who's been such a pivotal player coming off your bench. Like Cason Wallace, he's going to get better. All your young guys going to get better. Like I don't understand why. It does not seem like for a lot of the predictions that I've seen from the major outlets, it seems like, yeah, the Thunder are like number one as far as like if you did like a power ranking and stuff like that. But when you like really get down to it and people like predicting who they want to win the championship, they're going with probably the second team we're going to discuss here, which is the Denver Nuggets.
Well, it's partially because we've had so many champions over the past. We haven't had back-to-back champions since the Warriors. And the Warriors had
it's 2018.
Three of the years. And the Warriors had three of the greatest shooters of all time, two of the greatest scorers of all time on that team. We haven't had and everyone thought we were going to have dynasties. Like, oh, who's going to stop the Bucks? They have Giannis. He's the best player in the league. Who's going to stop the Nuggets? They have Jokic.
A lot of people thought the Lakers would go back to back from 2020. Unfortunately, we were screwed over by the NBA and their greed of wanting to start the season 7 weeks after we won a champion. I will never get over that. Like, not enough people. All everybody wants to talk. All Jeremy wants to talk about when he trolls me is, oh, Mickey Mouse ring. Mickey Mouse ring. How about the fact that we could have got back to back and we were screwed over? How about that? How about we talk about that instead of Mickey Mouse? All this nonsense. When everybody that played in that season, played in the bubble, said that was the toughest playoffs of all time. But oh no, the fans, Mickey Mouse ring, Mickey Mouse ring. We got screwed over. We got screwed over. But yeah, it was the Lakers could have went back to back if it wasn't the 2-month turnaround. The Bucks, people thought the Bucks were gonna go back to back because they had Drew Holiday, they had Milton, they had Giannis in his prime, especially after the finals that he had. They weren't able to do it. I don't think anyone thought the Warriors were going to go back. It was kind of like, oh, this was the championship y'all were due in 2019 if KD didn't get hurt. Y'all just getting it now. Okay, cool. Y'all were due. Here. Take your IOU. And then, but everybody thought Denver and Boston would go back to back.
I thought Boston would go to back to back. That was my prediction last season, was Boston. And then they ran into the Knicks. The Knicks beat them. The hell happened there? I thought Boston would go back to back, but people don't like predicting back to back because it hasn't happened in a while. Now the Thunder, and they like to be contrarian. We know this. Now the Thunder certainly have the pieces to do it, as you mentioned. Young team, Dub's gonna get better. Chet's gonna get better. Look, Shea has room for improvement. Kayson's gonna get better. AJ Mitchell's been impressive in preseason and summer league, which I don't put too much stock into summer league, but he's been very impressive. Hartenstein's already great. Lou Dort is great. He knows his role. He does everything very well. Alex Caruso is the greatest player in Thunder history. The team is there to make another run. The difficult part of that, one, it's just tough to do. It's tough to go back to back. They won 68 games last year. I can't imagine them winning 68 games again, and that's fine. They don't need to win 68 games. As long as they got 1-2 seed, they get home court.
When you really look at them, they have the potential to do it again.
Here's the issue, and we're about to talk about it. The West is so good.
Yeah,
this might be the best the Western Conference has ever been. And there were times during early Thunder years where you needed 50 wins to make the playoffs. Like the West has always been really good. Basically, since Jordan retired, the West has been excellent. This year, it looks better than ever. Honestly, there are maybe
the West is legitimately 9 teams deep. 9 teams that you like. I have my ranking of how I think the West is going to play out for the regular season, and I'm not sure about it at all. I think out the first 9 teams that I'm going to mention in the ranking, I think that you can probably shift it around and shuffle it around, and that's probably closer to how the regular season will pan out.
I have 2 teams in the West that I'm like, all right, yeah, they ain't making it. I feel confident saying you guys are not going to be a play-in team. You're not going to be in that spot. And then every other team, I'm like, you know what? I can make an argument for why they actually might make the play. I'm not saying they will. But it would not surprise me if they are somehow a 10 seed and make the play-in. And we'll get to those teams here.
Well, let's just start with the West. Let's do our
Oh yeah,
ranking, and then we
the
can
East
talk
will be
more
very
about
quick,
the
folks.
team. Yeah, the East is it's freaking simple as hell. Like once you just do the first two teams, and then you can put whatever you want after that. First two teams, and then that's it. Maybe first 3-4 teams I think have a chance, but yeah, it's gonna be easy. But Western Conference, I'm gonna see if you have the same two teams that you think have no shot, because I think we probably do. I have at 15 in the West, the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
And at 14, the Phoenix Suns.
I don't quite have Phoenix. I think Phoenix can be a sneaky. Again, they might be able to sneak and look. Would it surprise me if they were finished 14? Absolutely not. It wouldn't. But would it also surprise me if they ended up 10th? No. I think Devin Booker's really good. I think Devin
Booker's good, but it hasn't translated into wins other than when he was next to Chris Paul.
I think Devin Booker might be underrated at this point. And the rest of the team isn't great. Jalen Green, we'll see what you're getting out of him. They got a little bit younger, which I think is good. They have the hierarchy now. It was always a weird team with Durant, Beal, and Booker. We thought that they could just offensively push their way into the playoffs. Like they have too much firepower not to at least make the playoffs. But it was always going to be a weird fit. Defensively, it was always going to be weird. Now they actually have more of a structure, more of a hierarchy. Are they good enough to make a real run?
I don't think they're good enough offensively or defensively to be in the play-in. I just don't. I think Devin Booker will have a great year, but it's going to be like the great years that he had before 2020, where he had good years. He made a name for himself, but it didn't translate much into wins. I think they're going to be one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. So
I think I'm putting a little bit too much stock into Devin Booker, and that's fair. Again, if they're 14, it's not going to surprise me. It's not like I'm saying the Phoenix Suns are going to make some major playoff run or anything.
Yeah, and me saying 14, I still think they're going to win like 35 games. This is the Western Conference. Like I still think they're going to win like 35. They might even win like 38 games. Like they might get close to 500. But the West is going to be so deep that's going to be 14.
My other team that I think is out, the Utah Jazz. I would be shocked if they didn't finish 15th.
Yo, that would be the most surprising because I don't see Lauri Markkanen being on this team by the end of the season. I do, to give you another prediction early, I do think Ace Bailey is going to be Rookie of the Year. Bailey's been balling the hell out in preseason. So I think he's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot. Yeah. They're gonna probably try to have him like control the ball as much as possible. He's gonna put up numbers. He's probably gonna win Rookie of the Year.
He's gonna have the most opportunities, right? Because Cooper is playing behind Davis. D'Angelo Russell is gonna take a bunch of shots because that's what D'Angelo Russell does. And their team is so defensively based that I don't know if Cooper as a rookie will be able to fully carry the offensive load. Dylan Harper playing next to Wemby, playing next to Castle.
I think it's a two-horse race. It's Ace Bailey and it's Cooper Flag. I think Cooper Flag because the spotlight is on him, and if he can put up what a lot of people project him to do, like an 18-6-6 type season, that's going to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. I just think Ace Bailey's just going to put up. He's going to be a 20-point scorer his first year in.
Yeah, Ace Bailey's going to have the most opportunity by far, but Utah's not going to be good, and look, maybe that hurts Ace Bailey. If Cooper,
it's not MVP. It's Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. They don't take. I don't think they put that much stock into the team success. It's about you.
I get that, but if they're a 15 seed, like we think they're going to be, and the Mavs are a play-in team, and they have similar or comparable numbers, they're giving it to Flag over Bailey.
Sure.
So I do think team success will play a little bit of a part, but Flag has to also put up similar numbers. Now, if Ace Bailey is 5 points and 2 assists better than Flag, even though his team sucks, then they're going to look at it like, okay, we still got to give this to Ace Bailey. He was much better than Cooper Flag. My team that I think will be in the bottom 2, and I like this team. I think they're going to be very tough to play against. Defensively, they're great. I don't love their offense because I don't know who they're scoring at this point. I don't know who's scoring the ball for them. But Portland is the team that I'm like, I'm not. I don't think they're there yet. I just don't think they're there yet. Now, I do think they have a lot of good young pieces. I do think they can get there next year. I know people love their defense. You're smiling. I think you like Portland more than I do. I know people love their defense after the All-Star break last year. I ain't putting a ton of stock into post All-Star break Portland, because how many times do we see this in the NBA where a team just a team that has nothing to play for plays great in the All-Star break or after the All-Star break, and then it doesn't fully translate to the following season. I'll use Jalen Green as an example. Jalen Green always just plays great after the All-Star break. It's like, oh, he's ready. And then it just doesn't happen for him ever. And that's why he got traded for Kevin Durant. This happens with a lot of teams and a lot of players after the All-Star break because everything's kind of established. The veteran teams or the teams that are kind of locked in those final months, they start to wind down a little bit. And then the younger teams, the teams that actually care, and Portland does care, and I do give them a lot of credit for that. But the teams that actually care after the All-Star break, they start playing up a little bit because they don't have anything to play for. It's like, oh, we know where we're at. The playoff teams that are locked in, they ain't taking Portland serious. They ain't taking the Wizards serious. And so they come down a little bit in those games. And so it's easier for those teams to play up a little bit against those teams. Now, look, Portland could, if they start off the season really well and it's like, oh, this defense actually is good, I'll give them all the credit in the world. And it might happen. I do like their structure. I do like their pieces. I'm not putting all this stock into post All-Star break Portland when it comes to their defense. And then I also don't love their offense. I don't know who's scoring the ball for them. I need to see more growth out of Scoot, who I did love. You can go back and watch the previews from years past. I was very high on Scoot Henderson. I need to still see more from him, and Shaden Sharp has to also take a step up on that end. Portland, I'm not fully writing them off. Again, if they're the 10 seed, will that be super surprising to me? No. But I think they're more likely to get a 14 seed than a 10 seed. And I like Phoenix. And maybe I'm putting more stock into Devin Booker than I need to put into Devin Booker. But I think when you have a top 15 player in the league, I think there's reason to put that stock into these guys. So I put Phoenix just ahead of Portland. You like Portland, I think.
You have Phoenix at, 13?
Yeah, Phoenix is at 13.
All right. I have the Pelicans at 13. I just didn't see... I don't see anything improving for the Pelicans, and I really feel like this will be the last year of Zion in New Orleans. I think they'll have a nice run to start off the season, but it's usually how Pelicans play. They're usually pretty decent in the first couple of months of the season. Then a Zion injury happens, something else goes wrong, a different breakdown happens, and then they always come back down to earth, and they're usually in this spot by the end of the year. So that's why I have them at 13. And then at 12, I have the Sacramento Kings. I think the Sacramento Kings, they missed their window. They don't have what's his name? The point guard.
De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox right now. You don't have De'Aaron Fox anymore. You got Russell Westbrook. You got Levine and DeRozan. They're going to score points, but I don't think they're going to win too many games. They just don't have the structure of a team that's going to make the play-in or the playoffs to me.
I was high on the Pelicans last year, and then they got a shit ton of injuries, and they couldn't do anything. And I'm kind of in that same boat. I'm high on the Pelicans as far as their roster, as far as their structure, as far as their depth, but an injury or two, and they're completely screwed again. and I understand injuries are part of the game. You have to look at that. When a guy has a history of not being able to stay healthy, it's tough to trust that they're going to stay healthy. I also want to take an optimistic approach in being like, hey, maybe they will stay healthy. And if they do, Zion has proven he's a top player when he plays. He can score the ball, he rebounds, he passes, he plays defense. Like, he's a well-rounded player, and he's a guy who is tough to guard, tough to stop as well. Can he stay healthy? We shall see. I like Herb Jones. Herb Jones is one of the best two-way players in the league. Jose Alvarado is really good. Trey Murphy is one of the best shooters in the league. DeJounte Murray is another guy who health is going to be an issue. I do like the Jordan Poole pickup. I think Jordan Poole has become underrated because he was just stuck in Washington and not doing anything. I like the draft they had. I like Fears. I like Queen. So I like their team overall. It is going to depend on Zion's health. But if they're healthy, I don't see why this team can't be a 10 seed. I have them more at 11. But I don't see why they can't be a 10 seed if they stay healthy. And then Sacramento, I got 12. I don't think that team. I want to like the team because Russ. I'm always gonna root for Russ. But you mentioned it. Their defense isn't good enough. It's not gonna be good enough. They got the offensive firepower. Levine's gonna score the ball. DeRozan's gonna score the ball. Sabonis can be a triple-double guy, not averaging a triple-double, but on any given night, he can put up triple-double numbers. They don't have a ton of depth, and they don't have – Dennis Schroeder's their backup point guard, which I completely forgot about. But they don't have a ton of depth, and they don't have much in the way of defense. I think I could easily see Portland, Sacramento, Phoenix all kind of flipping from 12, 13, and 14. And then again, like I said, I could also see them like kind of maybe making a push for a play-in spot. Would it surprise people if Sacramento just goes on a hot offensive run and they win games like 150 to 140? And
no, it wouldn't be surprising with the three guys that they got with Westbrook, DeRozan, and Levine, and then you got Sabonis as a guy who can do a couple of different things on the floor for them. They have that core that can win some, especially some close games. I think they're going to do pretty well in that regard.
Oh, those are my bottom teams, and we have the same bottom teams when it comes to who's not going to make the play in. We have different order, but the same
11.
Oh, yeah,
I have the Memphis Grizzlies.
Really?
I don't.
You're this high on Portland?
Portland at 10.
Wow.
They are legitimately, they may be one of the best defenses in the NBA. And the other streak that we have on this show, it's a personal streak, but it's still a streak that we have on our previews. I'm 2 for 2 on calling teams that a lot of people thought were not going to make the playoffs, making the play-in or making the playoffs, and then seeing that progression through. I said it with the Thunder 4 years ago when we did our first preview, and then they went from play-in to 1 seed to NBA champions. Houston Rockets, they went from play-in contenders to top of to 2nd seed in the West last year when I called that they were going to be a top 6 seed. Portland is the new team. They're the new one up, and I think that the offensive firepower question, I think it's going to come from Shaedon Sharpe. I think he's been really good in the preseason. He's been putting the ball in the hoop. But when you think about like the defensive players on this team, they're stacked. They got Matisse Thybulle, who's like an 8th man, 9th man off the bench. They got Robert Williams III. Scoot Henderson has been pretty good on defense. Drew Holiday is really going to be the difference maker. That's that veteran piece that they need to really put things together. And most of all, I think that Chauncey Billups, he's going to be a coach of the year candidate. I think that they are going to take that next step. They're going to be in the play-in competition.
All right. I like Yang Jokic out there in Portland. He's looking impressive. And
Devi's going to have another great year. So yeah. Like they have a really good young core. They got a great coach. They got good defense. They have everything that I saw from the Oklahoma City Thunder 4 years ago. What I saw from the Houston Rockets 2 years ago. It's Portland now. Portland is the team number 10.
Toyota Camaro, I do like him as well. I know that's not his name, but that's what I call him. I know it's Tomani Kamara. Pretty sure. Might have screwed up that pronunciation.
Yeah.
But
and that's also true with Nutty. I didn't talk about with Memphis. Memphis is just ridden.
Memphis
with
is
injuries.
They
are injuries. I don't know if they'll be able to recover. Like with the Western Conference, the way it is, it's really like I would have had like the Lakers higher than what I would have put them, but the LeBron injury and being out possibly the first month does make me kind of drop them down a bit. And injuries in the Western Conference this season, that's like a difference maker for a lot of these teams.
I'm in agreement with that when it comes to the injuries in Memphis. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll get healthy, and when they're healthy, like I like their team better than I like Portland's team if they're healthy. Now, healthy is going to be, like that's going to be an issue. Jaren Jackson's out. Ty Jerome is out. Those are two very important players on this team. Jaren Jackson's their second best player. Ty Jerome was going to come in, be their sixth man. He was great in Cleveland last year. So now you're putting more on Ja, and you're putting more on guys who kind of gotta step up, like a Jalen Wells, like a Scottie Pippen Jr. Like these guys gotta step up again. Jalen Wells played well in the playoffs. Scottie Pippen Jr. played well in the playoffs. They don't have Desmond Bane anymore. That hurts their overall. Like that hurts their team overall. He was their secondary scorer, secondary creator, and he was a good defender. Now, where are you getting that offense from? Where are you getting even some of that defense from? Ty Jerome would help a little bit on the offense. He's not as good as Devin Bane, though. You need Jaren Jackson to take a leap offensively. You kind of need Ja to take a leap offensively and just become a more consistent scorer. I understand not being as high on Memphis. I do. I'm kind of trusting their overall history and maybe even a little bit of their vibes as far as coach is gone. Their vibes were pretty good at the end of last season. They made the play-in. They had the Thunder.
Bane. They lost Bane. They got all these injuries. Like, that's the reason I don't trust them to make the play-in even.
They had the Thunder figured out in Game 4 as they were down 3-0 in the series. But they had the Thunder figured out in that one. Or Ja got hurt in Game 3. Sorry, they had the Thunder figured out in Game 3 as they were down 2-0 and got waxed in the first two games. So I'm kind of trusting their overall team structure in history. But again,
so you got them at 10?
I got them at 10. I don't feel great about it. I really don't. And this is why I said...
I could tell the whole time you were talking about them. You had this look on your face like...
would it surprise... This is why I said, like, would it surprise me if Portland, if Sacramento, if Phoenix, if these teams, like, got 10 over... Absolutely not. No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. So I don't feel great about Memphis at 10. But I'm going to go with Memphis at 10. All right, who do you have 9?
At 9, the last play-in spot, I got the Dallas Mavericks. I think that their roster doesn't feel like it is complete yet. Of course, they got the big injury, and Kyrie should probably be back the second half of the season, probably off the All-Star break. AD is always a question mark on how long he can be healthy, if he can reach that 65-game threshold for the season. But I think he is going to be good this season. I think Cooper Flagg is going to be top 2 Rookie of the Year candidate, and he's going to make a seamless transition. But they have no point guard. D'Angelo Russell, I'm sorry. We took all your mojo in that 2023 playoff run. Like, you haven't had any mojo since that playoff run, and I don't see it coming back to him this year with the Dallas Mavericks. I think Dallas next year, I will be much higher on them. I'm saying it preemptively 1 year in advance. I'm probably going to be top 4 on Dallas going into 2026, 2027 season. But because of the injury to Kyrie, because of the uncertainty around AD, I think he is going to be a top 5 deep DPOI candidate, but I just don't. I think they're 1 year away. When they're fully healthy, this team can beat any team in the Western Conference.
I've got the Spurs at 9. And I like the Spurs. I actually think they make the playoffs. I think they win I think they beat the teams before them in the play-in. I do. And I think they get the A seed over a Dallas team or over whoever I have in the 7th seed. Stay tuned.
So you have them at 8, Dallas.
Yes, I have Dallas at 8.
Who you have at 9?
I just said the Spurs.
Oh, the Spurs. Okay.
Yeah, cool. But I think they make the play-in. I think they win the play-in game and end up making the playoffs. But I think they finish the regular season at 9. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right.
I have the Spurs at 8. So we pretty much have all the same teams just shuffled around in this bottom portion of the Western Conference. But yeah, I have the Spurs at 8. This is one team that I will say what you've been saying about all the teams. Wouldn't be surprised if they're higher up on this list. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the year that Wemby took the next step to superstardom, to all-time status. Spoiler alert on. Well, I'll just let it be known. I think Ace Billy's winning Rookie of the Year. I think there's no question. Wemby, if he's playing 65 games, he's DPOY. He's winning Defensive Player of the Year. He's averaging like 3-4 blocks. He's averaging like 12 to 13 rebounds. He's just going to be a presence in the paint, unlike anything else in the league. And they just are so deep. I think their youth core is going to be good for the next 5, 6, 7 years if they can keep it all together. But Wemby's going to take that next step. He's been training very hard, been getting his body into shape for this season. So I do expect him to make the playoffs this year.
I think they'll make the playoffs as well. I think they'll win the play-in or at least one of the 2 play-in games to get a 7 or 8 seed. So I guess it would be the 8th seed because if I had them at 9, they can't get the 7th seed. So I think they'll get the 8th seed and win the play-in off of that. Wemby's going to be generational. He's already close to being there. Assuming he's healthy, he's going to be generational. I don't know what you're supposed to do against that guy. He can shoot from anywhere at this point. He can score from anywhere. Defensively, he's gonna block everything if you get to the rim. I just don't know what you're supposed to do. The rest of the team, there's some shooting concerns. I know Champagne's shot well. Harrison Barnes is a good shooter. De'Aaron Fox a little inconsistent. Harper and Castle, they got to kind of prove that they can shoot the ball a little bit better. They have the talent. Maybe Harper and Castle, they're gonna have to grow a little bit. Even Wemby's gonna have to grow a little bit as far as it's his 3rd season. He missed time. There's still gonna be a little bit of growing pains. That's a team like I would not want to see in the playoffs.
Like if
you really want to deal
how we got here, like Thunder and Spurs might go 7 in the first round.
Yeah, like you really want to deal with this dude in the playoffs. It's not going to be fun. It's just
their guard play is going to be ridiculous with Fox, with Harper, with Castle, Vassell. Like, yeah, they're deep in the guards. They got Wemby up in the front court. They got Cornette now. That was a good free agent signing. So Wemby doesn't have to play that much, and we can kind of preserve his body in certain cases. So I think the Spurs are going to have a really good year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're higher than the 8th seed. But the last spot in the play-in, I got at number 7, the Los Angeles Clippers.
I know we're going to disagree on this. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I knew. We all knew this. Like, y'all know my personal vendetta against the Los Angeles Clippers. The only teams that I hate more than Los Angeles Clippers in the NBA is the Boston Celtics. That's it. The only teams I hate as equal as the Los Angeles Clippers is the New York Knicks. That's it. But yes, the Clippers, I don't have the faith that everybody else has. Yes, they're deep. Don't get me wrong. That's why I have them definitely going to make the playoffs. Definitely going to be in competition and could probably give the Nuggets probably its toughest test before the Oklahoma City Thunder and could get an upset over the Nuggets like we saw them push them to the limit in last year's playoffs. Kawhi Leonard, I think, is going to have another strong year. I do question if he's going to be healthy the whole year because he was unusually more healthy last year, and that might be the exception to the rule and not the actual rule. Just want to let y'all know. James Harden, I do expect him to have a strong year. And I like the pickups that they made with like Brooke Lopez and Chris Paul and Bradley Beal. They're deep behind belief. And I think, yeah, they could be up in like the top 3 of the Western Conference. I just don't think they're going to be healthy the whole season. I think that it all depends on health. And I don't see this Clippers team, the retirement home Clippers team. I don't see I feel like everybody is talking about them like they're the 2012 Brooklyn Nets, and they're gonna wind up being the 2012 Brooklyn Nets.
Real quickly on the Mavericks, because I didn't quite touch on them. And if Anthony Davis is healthy, top 5 MVP candidate. I like Gafford. I like Lively. I don't fully like them because they're just kind of annoying, but I do like their talent level. Who's gonna score the ball from the perimeter for them? Clay can still hit shots. D'Angelo Russell's gonna give you some points, but he's also gonna make a lot of boneheaded decisions, and you just don't know how that's going to go. A lot's going to be on Cooper's shoulders and what he's going to be able to do for the team. If they get Kyrie back in the second half of the season, then it's like, okay, now we're rolling a little bit here. Again, I do have the Mavericks at number 8, but I also think they lose 2 play-in games. I think they lose to the Spurs, and I think they lose to my 7th seed, who it is not the Los Angeles Clippers, but it is the Los Angeles Lakers at number 7.
Disrespectful.
LeBron's got to show he can be healthy at 40. He's already missing early time here in the season. Luka, we expect him to have a big season. He's in shape. That's the whole thing. I think Luka will have a really, really strong season. I don't love the rest of this team, though. I really don't love the rest of this team. Again, DeAndre Ayton, that's who you're pinning hopes on. He might be okay to start, and then LeBron's going to come back and he's going to hate him, and then it's going to screw everything up off of there. Austin Reeves, all right. I like Austin Reeves, but as we've mentioned on past shows, as a third ball handler, he's a little redundant with LeBron and Luka. I think they might end up trading Reeves. I know they like him. I don't know if they want to, but there's value in him of balancing out the team a little bit more. Their defense is questionable. I mean, you have Luka, Reeves, and Ayton on the floor. That's 3 not so great defenders. LeBron is older. LeBron at this age certainly isn't, LeBron of even 5 years ago as a defender. I don't think their defense is great. And then their offense, it's going to be good with Luka, LeBron, Reeves, but you're going to need other guys to really prove something. And with injuries, I mean, talk about injuries, like if LeBron is going to miss more time, if Luka misses any time, like the rest of the roster just isn't good enough behind them.
Okay. That's fair. I'll talk about the Lakers in a bit here.
All right. That's what I have at 7. So who do you have at 6?
Number 6, just out of the play-in, I got the Golden State Warriors. I think that the Warriors are going to have a really strong year this year. You saw how that team came together when they got Jimmy Butler at the second half of last season. And I think that series against the Minnesota Timberwolves definitely goes 7 games if Steph Curry is healthy. But because of their age, I don't see them being higher than 6 or 5. I could see them going as high as the 5th seed, but I don't see them cracking like the top 4 because of the age. And you can see age catching up to your Steph Curry with him getting hurt in the playoffs last year. They're one of the older teams, just below like the Clippers of the world for not being a retirement home, but they are pretty old as well. So I could see them being like the middle of the pack, 6 seed, probably giving whoever I have as the 3rd seed a very tough matchup in the first round. So who you got at 6?
I got Minnesota at 6. I've talked about why I'm not high on Minnesota. They didn't really do anything to improve their team in the offseason. In fact, they lost Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin. He has a cousin, for those who don't know. So they lost Nickel Walker-Alexander. They didn't really add anything behind that. They re-signed Naz Reid. I like Naz Reid, good player. You're asking Rob Dillingham to step up. Mike Conley's another year older. I like Terrence Shannon Jr. I think he played well in the playoffs, and maybe he can grow into a bigger role. Mike Conley at this age, like he looked pretty out of his depth in the playoffs against the Thunder, and now he's another year older. Rudy Gobert is Rudy Gobert. Like, you know what you're getting out of him. Julius Randle, like I've said on the show many times, if Julius Randle is your second guy, I just can't trust you. I just can't trust you if Julius Randle is your second guy. They're going to need Jaden McDaniels. Jaden Daniels is the Commanders quarterback. They're going to need Jaden McDaniels to step up and be more of a second scorer for this team. Can he do it? I don't know. We shall see. I think he has the talent to do it, but we got to see it. And as I've mentioned before, Julius Randle's got to pull it back a little bit and allow that to happen. And that's what I'm more concerned about than Jaden McDaniels being able to step up. Is Julius Randle going to take a step back to allow him to step up? And I don't know. I love Anthony Edwards. He has all the talent in the world. If he can get more of a mid-range game, then I'd love him even more. But as far as like getting to the rim, as far as shooting the ball, like Anthony Edwards can do all of that on the offensive end. There are stretches where he becomes a little invisible offensively if his shot's not falling and if he's just not imposing his will like he needs to, and playmaking still needs a little bit of work. I don't love the Timberwolves overall. I love them enough to have the 6th seed, but I don't love them. And it really comes down to Julius Randle. I just can't buy that as the second guy. I just can't.
Fair enough. All right. So we got at the 5th seed, right smack down in the middle, the Los Angeles Clippers. No, the Los Angeles Lakers. Sorry.
Oh, they're
Los
be in
Angeles
Lakers
twice.
Twice.
Exactly. Los Angeles Lakers, I got as the 5th seed. I would have had them higher. I had them as high as like the 3 seed when I was first putting together my ranking here. But yeah, the injury to LeBron is going to hurt significantly, and it's going to take us some time to develop some chemistry with LeBron when he gets back on the court. But we didn't make too many changes or have too many additions to the team outside of like Jake LaVivia as well as dominating. I think that with the core that we have with LeBron and Luka and Reeves, I think that that 3 ball handler lineup worked really well for us at the end of last season, and I think that we will kind of get that same chemistry back when LeBron is back. We do have to work on defense, and we're probably going to have to trade Reeves by the trade deadline to get some defensive help in the front court, most definitely, or on the we need a perimeter defender now. Actually, we need a perimeter defender.
Marcus Smart,
to lock down.
Yeah, come on now.
He's a good defender. Don't worry. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be good coming off the bench. He's gonna be back, baby. We're gonna be like, oh my god, we got Black Alex Caruso. It's gonna be great. But nah, I think that's gonna be an addition that works well for us. But most of all, I think that I have them at this position because I think Luka is just going to be more healthy. He's in the best shape of his career. And the last time that we saw Luka with as little help as he has to start off this season, it was 2 years ago when he dragged that Dallas Mavericks team to the playoffs and to the NBA Finals. They did not have Kyrie Irving for a lot of that run, and Luka put up 38 and 8. And I expect those same numbers from him. I expect an MVP campaign. I expect him to be about 49% from the field, about 38% from 3, about 80% from the free throw line. He's gonna put on a great season for us, and he's gonna be the reason why we stay afloat before LeBron comes back. And I expect LeBron to still play about like 60 games. Honestly, I do. I still see him play at 60 games at 41 years old because LeBron is not human. He is unlike any athlete we have ever seen. And despite him having sciatica, which is not something that I thought I would say about anyone in NBA going into the season, but due to the sciatica, I don't have them as high as I originally did, but I have them still being in the mix in the playoffs, and I have them as a 5th seed. I think that Luka and LeBron are just too motivated and too good together that they are going to be at least six 5th seed. I don't see them going down into the play-in, honestly.
You like the core of the Lakers with LeBron, Luka,
the big three,
Austin Reeves, the core that won one playoff game last year, strong core that they didn't add to.
Luka wasn't healthy. Luka wasn't healthy. He was fat.
Sure.
Luka.
Sure.
That was fat. He was wearing the fat suit.
Whose fault is that?
You know how some people's like, I don't really like the first half of Endgame because Thor's wearing a fat suit.
Never seen it.
That was Luka in the playoff series against the Wolves. Now he's back like Thor in Love and Thunder. He's gonna be all healthy, all looking good again. He is Slim Luka you have never seen on the court before.
All right. Well, I think Luka's in for a big season. I really do. It's the rest of the team that I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know, especially if LeBron's going to miss time. And who else is defensively not great? Who else is stepping up to make plays to where they can be a higher seed than as to where you have them?
Reeves.
All right. I know you're high on Austin.
I see, like, this is crazy to me. Like, y'all see Reeves always step up the last couple of years, and y'all still deny him. Y'all like Peter denying Jesus after he died. Like, I ain't never know that guy. I don't know. I ain't never seen him in my life. Yeah, I saw him walk on water and make food for 1,000 people with 2 fishes. But no, I don't know the guy. Austin Reeves can do it all. He walked on water, helped save the Lakers season a few times, and y'all still gonna deny him? This is ridiculous.
I think Austin Reeves is good. I do think Austin Reeves is very good. He's not the third best player in the league, like you said a few weeks ago. That's crazy. But I do think Austin Reeves is really good. I also just don't think he's good enough to fully carry the Lakers if LeBron misses time, if Luka misses time. All right. What number am I? 5? I'm at 5. I have the Warriors at 5. I think here's my issue with the Warriors. They are a Steph Curry injury away from sucking. I don't love this team if they don't have Steph. I don't know who's scoring the ball if they don't have Steph. Jimmy Butler's really good. He is. Regular season Jimmy Butler, maybe not so much. And then the rest of the offense, I don't know. Like, I don't know who's scoring the ball if there's no Steph. You're going to hope Kuminga finally gets there after the offseason they had, after Steve Kerr clearly doesn't like him. You're hoping he gets there as an offensive engine. Podzinski, they're high on Will Richard. I don't know. I gotta see something first before I'm willing to give him that. Outside of Steph, their offense is just very mundane. I think they're good defensively. They have the structure, certainly, defensively. I like the Al Horford pickup. He still has something to give. I think he helps them in a variety of ways, offensively and defensively. It's an older team, and you always worry about some of these older teams. And again, they're a Steph injury away. They're a Steph injury away from being a play-in team, honestly. Because I don't know if they survive if Steph only plays like 50-something games. No. Their offense just is not good enough if Steph only plays between 50 and 60 games. I'm working on more assumption of health, as people can probably tell based on my predictions. I'm working strongly on health, and I know that kind of fools Aaron because no team ever stays healthy, and when you're talking about older players, you're definitely worried about health when it comes to that. So, but I still overall I do like the Warriors enough to put them at 5. Steph gets hurt, they're a play-in team.
I see Matthew Hook saying SB3, Peter denied Jesus while he was alive, not after he died. He denied him after Jesus told him at the Last Supper that I'm gonna before I die, you're gonna deny me 3 times. So he already knew he was dead. He got arrested and he denied him. He knew Jesus was gonna die because Jesus told him he was gonna die. And once he gets arrested, he's pretty much a rep. Everything goes as Jesus said it was going to go to the apostles. I went to Catholic school my whole entire life. Don't tell me about the Bible. I know these stories like the back of my freaking hand. I used to go to church on Wednesdays, not even Sunday and Wednesday. I used to have to go to church. I went to Catholic school, elementary school, and high school. How you going to tell me? Anyway,
I don't know anything about the Bible. I'm going to let y'all argue about that one. I had my little children's Bible when I was a kid, and it had all the nice colored pictures and whatnot. And then after that, no idea on that stuff.
I'm putting you and others who do not have PTSD about all the stuff they learned at church. Number 4,
I went to church. I didn't retain any of that information. Sorry, God.
I went to church and I had religion class. Funny story, little tidbit story in between all of this. When I was in, I think I had to be a sophomore or a junior. I think I was a junior. I was a junior in high school, and I had a male religion teacher who was talking about basically losing your virginity and why people want to stay pure before marriage and stuff like that. So I asked the teacher, I was like, hey, are you married? And he was like, no. And I was like, I have another question, so you're a virgin? And he said yes, and the whole class laughed and I got detention. But yeah, that was the story. That was the story. Number 4, we got here the Houston Rockets. This is another one where injury did dictate me putting it just slightly lower. I just went one seed lower with the Houston Rockets. I think the Van Fleet injury is going to hit them hard. I think they don't have anyone who can move the ball around. You're asking KD to kind of be the point guard and Amen Thompson, which is a role that he's not very good at or not too comfortable in. Let me not say that. I think he is good at getting the ball and contributing the ball around and stuff like that. So I think that I think they could be the 3rd seed or as high as the 2nd seed because their defense is so strong. You got Sengun, who's a double machine. You got Amen Thompson, who's going to take that next step. Another spoiler for my awards, I got Amen Thompson as most improved player. I think he is going to take that next step, get a bunch of free open shots, playing along KD. I think KD is a strong candidate to become the clutch player of the year. I think he's going to have a great year as well. And they just have this young core to go along with one of the best players in the league that I expect them to be in the top half of the Western Conference.
I also have the Houston Rockets at number 4. I think the Rockets are a very good team. I'm actually a little concerned. I don't love. Here's my first bet of the season. I got the Rockets at -7.5. I think the line has moved to -6.5 for opening night. I feel pretty good about them at least covering the spread tonight at -7.5. I would not even be surprised if they win outright tonight because no dub for OKC. That's tough. Not having our secondary creator and our second star out there. Isaiah Joe is going to miss the game tonight as well. He's a little less important, but reliable when it comes to his shooting. Overall, the Rockets, they have a really good team. The Van Vliet injury hurts, and they're going to need Amen to grow even more as a creator. Durant's going to have to continue to prove he can be a creator. I know he can get his own shot, but how is he going to get others involved, especially others where the shooting is a little inconsistent? I mean, Amen's not a great shooter. Jabari Smith Jr., okay. Sengun, he's a sort of a stretch, but not a great stretch. And then Steven Adams, obviously, he ain't shooting any threes. I mean, they're playing Kevin Durant at shooting guard for opening night here, which is absurd to me. They're a lengthy team. Their defense is going to be good. It's going to be tough to score on them. I still have questions, even with Kevin Durant, about their offense. I still think there are There could be some offensive issues. I do think there's going to be some growing pains with Houston as they start to figure out how to play with each other and gel with each other. By the midpoint of the season, they'll start to figure that out, and they're going to be very scary in the second half and then in the playoffs. But I just got them at 4 right now. But they're going to be good. They're going to be a really good team.
Yep. All right, so we've made it to the spot where I'm sure we have a big difference of opinion because you got to hear my opinion on your number 3 seed, and I got to hear your opinion on my number 3 seed. So I will say here, number 3, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves have been like the second half of the season, they were the second best team in the Western Conference. Like they just delivered. They were able to overcome the a bad first half of the season and really step it up. And that's what I'm going to base all of this on. And the way they played in the playoffs, I think that it is worthy of them taking that next step and playing well this regular season. I don't see it happening back-to-back seasons where they just go so below expectations in the first half of the year. I think that Ant-Man's going to take that next step. I think that he is going to be a top 5 MVP candidate. Yes, I will stay pat. I will stay 10 toes down and say that the whole entire year. Anytime I talk about Ant-Man, top 5 MVP candidate, he's going to have that type of year. I think Jaden McDaniels, he's taking that next step where he's going to be the second, third best player on this team. I think Julius Randle, what he can do it well. I think that people emphasize or talk about him as a negative to this team when I seen it in the series against the Lakers, that he doesn't always have to be that negative contributor. He can be a guy that you could give the ball to, who can create shots for himself and others when Ant-Man is not on the floor, or when you want to give Ant-Man a rest when he is on the floor. I think that you are emphasizing his weaknesses and his negativity a little bit more than his ability to put the ball on the court and get shots at the rim and rebound for this team. I think that he's a contributing factor to that. I think Rudy Gobert as the anchor for their defense, they've always been a solid enough defense, or one of the best defense in the NBA, and I think they're going to continue that this season. I think they have all the makings to take a step up this season and be in the top 3.
Okay. Their team overall, I like the consistency of their team. You know, I've preached for years about having consistency. That's why I picked the Nuggets a couple of years ago. That's why I was high on Boston last year. That's why if they weren't my team, I probably would have leaned toward the Thunder last year. I like a team that has a lot of consistency, and they got consistency. My problem is I just don't love the players that they bring back with this consistency.
Hey,
that's my issue.
I like these players. Right. I don't like them when they're going up against the Los Angeles Lakers, but I do like them in general. And another spoiler, I'm basically giving away all my awards while we're going through this, just the Western Conference. As Sixth Man of the Year, I got Nas Reed.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he won it last year, right? Or 2 years ago. Won it 2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
So it's not since
Peyton Pritchard is the favorite right now in the odds. So
okay. Yeah, he won it last year, Pritchard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's gonna start too many games. So
possible. I don't know. Jason Tatum might be back opening night with all these workout videos that he's posting at this point.
Yeah, sure.
Number 3, Los Angeles Clippers. I know you're not high on them. I understand your reasoning for not being high on them. My reasoning is I know injuries. This team is certainly injuries away from not being all that great. But they have the depth this year that they didn't really have last year. They have a coach who I think we both think is fantastic in Tyronn Lue. Kawhi missed the majority, at least the first half of last season. They were still a very competitive team last season. And then he returned, and he looked very good. Kawhi actually has been able to work on his game this offseason instead of rehabbing, which has been the story of his offseason for like 4 years now. So I think that's going to be beneficial. Bradley Beal I understand if people are down on him, especially after the Phoenix run, he's not coming in and being tasked with like, oh, you're part of a big three with Durant and Booker. No, there's the structure, there's a hierarchy there, and James Harden's a better playmaker than Booker or Durant. Anyway, Chris Paul's a better playmaker than both of those. Bradley Beal's going to kind of play a Norman Powell role. Norman Powell was really good for them last year. They traded Norman Powell and they got John Collins, who gives
that's another reason I like Norman Powell on that team, man. I think he over-delivers.
Sure. Yeah, but I think Bradley Beal offers very similar numbers and very similar style to Norman Powell. And he's just as good. When it comes to that end of the floor, he's just as good. John Collins gives them something different. They have a backup in Brook Lopez who can give them something different as far as when Zubac is out, you put Lopez on the floor who can stretch a little bit. You can play Lopez at the 4 because he can stretch the floor and you can go big. I mean, we saw last year with OKC. OKC's best lineup was Hartenstein and Chet to start. It wasn't technically their best lineup because when Chet was on the floor by himself, that was their best lineup, but they went double big and it worked out for them. That was the starting lineup that won the NBA championship. So you need and now teams have copied that. Look what Houston's doing with Sengun and Adams. This is what Minnesota was doing. They thought they needed to go double big because against the Nuggets, because the Nuggets had Jokic and Gordon. So teams have figured out a way to just go double big on there, at least as an option. And now they have that option with Lopez and Zubac. They have really good Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, like even Batum still has some. He still offers something. The depth is there on this team. They're older. They get 2 injuries. They're screwed. I think they can survive 1 injury. I think the Clippers are in for a strong season, though. And it could all fall apart. It could all fall apart if everybody gets hurt. I fully concede that.
Yeah, that's what I expect. I expect that it will just fall apart. So I mean, yeah, you could be right. The Clippers could be a top 3 seed. They do have the depth, they do have the names and the depth, the talent to basically make a run and do very well in the regular season. I just don't see it translating to the postseason.
I mean, postseason's a different story. Yeah. When we get to the postseason, we'll do a postseason preview. But yeah, postseason, that's more about matchups. That's more about war of attrition. Like how beat up are you going into the postseason with everything. But for regular season, and I think they can survive some injuries. Here's another argument I have for the Clippers. I realize this isn't like a foolproof argument or anything. We're going to kind of erase injuries because any team can suffer a big injury at any time, right? Like that can just happen to any team. And so I think it's a little unfair to fully put injuries and basically predict, well, this guy's going to get hurt, so they're fucked. This guy's going to get hurt, so they're fucked. I don't love doing that. So take away the injuries. Take away the names even. Don't even look at it, oh, they have James Harden, they have Bradley Beal, they have Chris Paul, they have Kawhi Leonard. Look at the skill set of all these guys. If you just look at, oh, wait, they have a guy who defensively is great on ball and reads the game, who can get his shot anywhere from the mid-range, who's a consistent three-point shooter, who can also attack the rim. Oh, they have a guy who in isolation is great, who can score from anywhere, who playmakes really well, is legitimately one of the best playmakers in the league. Oh, they have a center who can pound the ball, who rebounds well, who sets a hard screen. They have another center who can kind of do similar things, but also stretch the floor. Both of them are great rim protectors. Oh, they have a guy who can score from everywhere, mid-range, three-point. He scores at all 3 zones. Like you look at they have defensive specialists. You look at the talent, like the skill set of these guys. You'd be crazy not to be like, oh yeah, they're a great team. I understand the caveats, the age, the potential injuries and everything. But if you just look at skill sets they're a fantastic team. That's why I got them at number 3.
No, I can't say you're wrong. I I do understand their age, so that is why I am taking that into account
I get
and
it.
putting them a little bit lower. Number two, I think number two and one we pretty much have the same. Number two, I have the Denver Nuggets. I think that they were so smart. They had the best offseason of any team
Hey, did you
in the
admit it
NBA.
now? You
Yeah,
admit
they did.
it?
They did. They
Thank
did.
you.
They did. I mean, especially when the other team that was the other option, they got a big injury. Like they had the ending. Yeah, they won. They won the offseason.
Even
They're
before
deep
the
as hell.
injury.
Christian Brown, he had a great year last year. I expect him to take another step up. Bruce Bowen's, I mean Bruce, excuse me, not Bruce Bowen. Bruce Brown has been one of the best role players in the NBA over the last couple of years. Aaron Gordon has been like an X factor for that team. I thought that he was like the real difference pickup for their NBA championship 2 years ago, excuse me. And I just think that the acquisition of getting Cameron Johnson to replace MPJ is just sublime. Like he's a kind of a better version of MPJ for this team. He can put the ball in the hoop. He can actually contribute the ball as well. He's a strong player, going to be next to Jokic, so he's going to get some free shots. And I think that Jokic is going to put up another triple-double 30-point season. So I think this has all the makings of them either being 2 or 1 in the Western Conference. And I think that I have like a top 3 for MVP. I think Luka's going to be in the mix. I think Ant-Man's going to be in the mix, but I think Jokic is winning this year's MVP.
I have the Nuggets at 1. And
Wow.
I'll give my reasoning here in a second. But to piggyback off of what you said about the Nuggets, I don't even think you mentioned their most important acquisition, and that's Jonas Valanciunas, who is going to actually give Jokic a break. And he's not Jokic, obviously, but he is at least not a below level replacement player that they've been running out there. Certainly last season and even before that. I mean, they had They had DeAndre Jordan a couple years ago, and they won a title with him. This Valanciunas is better than that version of DeAndre Jordan 2 years ago. He's certainly better than anybody else they've tried running out the past couple of years. Him just being able to give Jokic a little bit of a break to where you're like, oh, we don't lose too much here. He's a guy who can rebound. He's a guy who can score. Defensively, he's better in some ways and worse. In some ways, he's not going to guard the perimeter well, but Jokic doesn't really guard the perimeter well. The point is, he's not a below average player. He's an average center in the league. And that's much better than what they've had. Everything else I agree with when it comes to Denver. They need Jamal Murray healthy. I'm going to assume health because I like to assume health, even though I know that's foolish. They need him healthy because if he's not healthy, then it's like, oh, okay, who's kind of handling the ball and running the perimeter offense for them? So they need him healthy. But I think Denver is going to be the 1 seed. I do think they come in with more of a seriousness this year. Not to say that was lacking in the past couple of years, but now the turmoil in the front office and the coaching has settled as well. You know, that was a big part of things. The front office wanted certain guys to play, and the coaching didn't want to play those guys. Now both those guys are gone. They got Adam Lay in there as the coach. Like, I think they're just better off going into this season compared to past seasons, and they've had an off season where they got a little bit of a break, and they didn't have to go through the championship run where they were playing so much. I think that's a little beneficial as well. So I have Denver at the 1 seed, which means I have my Thunder at the 2 seed.
Slack it on the Mackin. I think that the Thunder is winning 70 this year. They're winning 70, ladies and gentlemen. Now they're at least winning 65. They're at least winning 65. I think they're going to be the 1 seed very easily. They're going to take their foot off the gas a little bit, as much as that's what all these championship teams do. But I think that the difference and why the Thunder is going to be different from your Denver Nuggets of 2024 or your Boston Celtics of 2025 is that they are going to be just as good as they were during their championship year, if not even better. We talked about it earlier, how much of their freaking team is going to improve from last season. I think they have no doubt they're going to be the number 1 seed. And I just think that Jokic will take his foot off the gas more than the Thunder overall this season. So I think that'd be the difference and why the Thunder will be number 1 and Nuggets number 2.
I think in some ways the Thunder will take their foot off the gas. In other ways, like, I don't know if that's the team mentality to be like, all right, yeah, we're just going to kind of let this one go. Even though that's not the team mentality, though, I do think there is just the human element of things where you are like, those last season, they had one goal in mind, and it was very straightforward, and they were focused on it all season, and it showed. Because a lot of these strong teams, they come into a February game against Charlotte, and it's like, this game doesn't really matter. Like, who cares? We're the 1 seed. We're good. We're in control. And there's that mental come down. And the Thunder had none of that last season. This season, I could see them having it a little bit more. Even though 0-0 mentality, every game is Game 7 of the finals. It's just the human element of we've played a lot of basketball. We've won the championship. We know when the playoffs come around, we know the team that we are. And so there might just be a mental come down in a February game against Charlotte or Washington. It's like, we don't need to fully play to this way. It happens. And I suspect it'll happen a little bit this year. I also suspect they're going to be a lot more diligent when it comes to injuries and rotation. Not to say that they weren't last year. Certainly with Alex Caruso, they monitored him all regular season and played him like 13 minutes a game. And then the playoffs happened, and it's like, hey, we're playing Alex Caruso 25 minutes a game now. Good luck against this demon. I think it's going to be very similar this year. You're not going to see as much Caruso. You're not going to even see as much Chet and Shea and Dub. Like, they're going to be... They know the end game. The end game is the playoffs. The end game is another championship. And so the regular season, not to say it's not important, it's just, hey, let's just wait it out. Let's get to the playoffs. And once we get to the playoffs, that is what we're going to focus on. So
I
have them at 2 because
you didn't have Chet for 2/3 of last season.
I know.
Y'all are winning more. Yeah, y'all are winning as many or more games this year. I just say
the West is tougher. The West is tougher this year.
Yeah, the West is tougher, but y'all are tougher. Like, I don't see a world where y'all don't win over like 63 games. That's like the bottom. That's the bottom out for the Thunder for me is 63 games.
Okay. I mean, I would love for that to happen, but as people know, I'm more pessimistic than I maybe should be given everything. I'm not, and these are famous last words, I'm not going to be stressed about the regular season. There will definitely be times where I'm annoyed with things, but we're the champs. The regular season, I'm not going to be super stressed about that. Playoffs start, whole different animal, obviously. But regular season, you lose a game here, there. Like, okay, all right, it happens. This team set the expectation so high last year with 68 wins that there just wasn't a whole lot to be stressed about. But because there was no championship, it's like when they lose games to the Timberwolves and they blow a 20-point lead, when they lose games to Houston and Van Vliet drops 40, it's like, yep, this mentality sucks. We're never going to win a title. We can't do it. This year, it's like, all right, it's the NBA. It's a long regular season. It happens. We're the champs. Let's just enter the playoffs healthy and feel good about things. So I'm going to not be stressed during the regular season. And my wife is going to be like, remember when you said you weren't going to be stressed during the regular season? Here you are in March and freaking out live. Because she's going to play this clip and be like, you said this. And my reply is going to be, I say a lot of stupid things on the show, baby. You can't hold this against me.
Got him.
As you know, I say, so Joel is safe tomorrow. If the Thunder lose tonight, probably not. I don't want to lose opening night. I don't want to lose banner night. I don't want to lose to the Rockets. So no. Opening night, not stress or not gonna feel great about that. I'm gonna realize it's a long season. It happens, but like I'm gonna be a little irritated losing on ring night to the Rockets if that happens. Yeah, my wife just texted me and says I already know that's a lie. So
Yeah, I do
she
too.
knows me.
Don't
She knows.
worry. Don't worry.
Come
Yeah,
on! I don't get any benefit of the doubt or credit
nope.
around here.
Nope.
Jesus.
Nope.
All right, let's quickly run through the East. I don't think we need to spend a ton of time on the
All right.
East. Like,
The non-play-in teams: 15 Nets, 14 Wizards, 13 Hornets, 12 Raptors, and let's go 11 Celtics.
really? Oh, I can't agree with that. Nah, the Celtics
Oh
will.
no, Pacers. My bad. Pacers.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I got Bulls. I think Bulls suck. That's not a good team.
I think
Sorry.
the Bulls will always make the 10th seed. They're
I guess
always
so.
going to
That's
be
true.
39 wins. So that's the 10th seed.
That's
I have
true.
them at 10 again.
Nah, I don't think
They
Bulls.
win 39 games. Like they won 39 games the last 2 seasons. Nothing about them tells me that they're going to go lower or more than that. 39 games again, 10th seed again.
I don't like the Bulls. I'm a little bit higher on the Raptors than you are. I don't know if I think they can be a play-in team. It wouldn't shock me if they're 11. I have them above the Bulls, honestly. It wouldn't shock me if they're 11, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they end up like 8th or something. Like I kind of like the Raptors this year. I think they're sneaky good, and I'd keep an eye on them. The Pacers, I'm gonna believe in just because even without Halliburton, I think overall the team is good. I think Naismith takes a step
So you
up.
think they make the play-in?
I think they make the play in. I think Nimhard and Maturin step up and everything.
So who's your play-in teams? The Pacers and who?
The Pacers and the Pacers and the Heat are my play-in teams. The Heat, I don't love the Heat. Like, what is that team? You know?
I just think that the West is so weak that they're actually gonna be higher for me. My play-in teams are the Celtics and the Bulls.
Okay. I'm a little bit higher on the Celtics. I know without Tatum, it's tough. Overall, I still think they have a really good team. Their structure is there. They have a really good coach. They're going to need Jaylen Brown to really take a step up as more of an offensive driver. I like Derek White. I think Derek White can certainly play that role and step up in that role more. Peyton Pritchard, they got some shooting there. It's not a great team. I'm kind of giving them more of the benefits of Jaylen Brown is better than, and I'm not even super high on Jaylen Brown, but Jaylen Brown and Derek White are better than anybody that the Bulls have. They're better than anybody that Miami has. And I like Bam, but Bam's just kind of defensively great. Offensively, you need to see a little bit more. Tyler Hero, kind of the reverse of that. I would take Jaylen Brown and Derek White over the duos of the teams that you seem to have them lower than.
I just don't think they have anything outside of Derek White and Jaylen Brown. There's just I think that Anthony Simons is not going to be what they probably want him to be. I think he's going to put the ball in the hoop, but
that's what they want him to do.
He's a defensive liability, so yeah.
They're going to take so many threes as well. Like they're just going to have game, like they're just going to outscore you, and there's just going to be nothing you can do against them. I'm a little bit higher on Boston than you are, clearly.
Yeah, I have them at 9. 8, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay. I think that they're gonna take the step up this season. They're gonna at least be in the play-in mix. I could see them easily losing to the Celtics in the play-in, and the Celtics make the playoffs. But for now, how the regular season ends, I see the Sixers be in the AFC. Joel Embiid, you can never depend on him, but I just think that the Tyrese Maxey has to take another step in his progression. I think McLean was a great rookie last season. He's going to take a next step in his progression as well. Paul George being on the court would be nice. It would be nice, but that's the same thing for Joel Embiid. And I just think that the East is so weak that the Sixers will haphazardly trip into the playoffs into an AFC.
I also have I have the Sixers at 7, I guess. Yeah, I have the Sixers at 7. I think they have the talent. It is going to depend on health, but if they are healthy, if they're healthy, it wouldn't shock me if this is a top 3 team.
Yeah,
Honestly, I mean, Joel Embiid was the MVP just a couple years ago. Paul George is still a good player. Tyrese Maxey is a budding star. VJ Edgecombe, we'll see what they get out of him. The rookie from last year,
McLean,
Jared, who got hurt. Who?
Jarrett McLean.
Yeah. Is it McLean?
I think it is
I
McLean.
apologize.
I'm
Hold
probably
on.
saying it wrong. But yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. McCain. Yeah, Jared McCain. Jared McCain. I think he's good. Like, I like their team overall. It's gonna depend on health, certainly, as it is with a lot of teams. But if they're healthy, it's a good team. Right now, I can't fully trust them to be healthy, and they are like, if they don't have Embiid, it's not a great team, and that is kind of the issue. Embiid's probably not going to play back to backs or anything, so you're already hurt there. And yeah, if they don't have Embiid, it's a tough team. It's not a great team. But I still have them
Yeah,
at 7. I have them at 7.
that's fair. I have the Heat at 7. I just think that defensively, the Heat are going to be good. They have Bam Adebayo as an anchor for their team. I think that Tyler Hero is a established scorer for that team, and the number one scorer. He's going to chuck up a bunch of shots. Nikola Jovic, he's good. He's been playing well. He's a kind of an overall player who can put up some numbers for them. Andrew Wiggins, I think, is going to be a good acquisition for them. I think that he's going to play well for them this season, and he's going to be someone that they rely on to put the ball in the hoop as well. And of course, I think that they have one of the best coaches in the NBA in Spoelstra. So I think that they're going to be at least a 7 seed. They're going to be in the mix in that play-in position, but not much higher than that.
Okay. Who do you have at 6?
I'll give you 6 through 4.
Okay.
Number 6, the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not confident in them at all.
Yeah.
They just lost so much, and Giannis is going to have a monster year, but it might not be enough to be in the top mix of the Eastern Conference. I think Miles Turner is going to have a great year as well coming to the team, but I just don't have them much higher than that. Who I have much higher than that? The Atlanta Hawks. I wouldn't be surprised. I have them at 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta Hawks make it to the 3 seed. They are that good. They are that deep. Trae Young, hopefully he can have a great year. You got KP. You've made all this offseason. I think out of the Eastern Conference, them and another team that I'll mention in a bit here had the best offseason of anybody. It's a close race between those two teams, and those two teams probably took the biggest jumps in regards to my Eastern Conference teams for me. And then number 4, the Detroit Pistons. I think that this is a next step for the Detroit Pistons because of all the injuries in the Eastern Conference. They're going to take a leap up. They'll get up to the 4th seed, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make a deep run this offseason and surprise everybody.
I actually have agreeing with you on that. I think the Bucks are 6. It would not even surprise me if they are 7 and the Sixers surpass them. Honestly,
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I have the Hawks at 5, and I have the Pistons at 4 as well. I could see the Hawks and Pistons flipping, but I'm gonna trust the Pistons and what they did last season. I think Cade is ready to take another leap there, but I think that's 4-5. The Hawks. I said it. I'm very high on the Hawks this year. It would not shock me if they make the Eastern Conference Finals with this team that they have. I love the additions of Porzingis and Nickel Walker-Alexander, and I think Trae Young's got to continue to prove that he can be the guy for them, and he's a little inconsistent, but I think they have the pieces around him this year more than they've ever had around him, and so that's why I do like. And Dyson Daniels fantastic, and same with Jalen Johnson. And so that's why I do like the Hawks this year.
Good.
All right, top 3
Good.
in the East.
So we got the same three teams, but we'll see if we have any differences in how we rank them. I got number 3, the Orlando Magic. I think the acquisition of Desmond Bain probably might turn out, when we look back on this season, as the most important of the offseason, because you got them someone who can shoot the ball, who can basically save them from being one of the worst offensives in the NBA, because that was the one thing that held them back. They were a playoff team last season. They're still growing because they're still young. Paulo Banchero, this should be his best year yet. Franz Wagner, he should have another great year. He just has to shoot the ball better, much better than he has in the past. They're just really deep, and I think that like one through 7, they're as good as any other team in the Eastern Conference. So I have the Magic taking a big leap to number 3. And number 2, the New York Knicks, they're going up 1 because Boston's not there. So they just go up 1. I don't think they're going to have this great regular season that I think I've heard some New York Knicks fans say that they're going to win like 60 games. I don't see that for the Knicks. I see them winning at best 55, and that's a 2 seed. I think number 1 seed, no question, it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers again. Cleveland is the best team in the Eastern Conference to me. I think that they learned from their woes and their struggles in the playoffs last season, and they're going to take a next step. Their chemistry has grown year after year since getting Donovan Mitchell, and I think they're going to take that next step of making a deep playoff run and at least making it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
I have the Knicks at 1. I know you just said that you're not expecting them to have as big of a season as many of their fans think they will. I think they are going to have a big regular season. I think for the Cavs, it's going to be tough to replicate everything that they did last season. I do love the addition of Lonzo Ball. Losing Ty Jerome's going to hurt because he was so good for them last year. Lonzo Ball does similar but different things for them. Defensively, he's better. Offensively, he's not quite the same, especially when it comes to like scoring in bunches, but I think he can run the offense a little bit better. The rest of the team, they're bringing back roughly the same team. That was kind of the only big change, but they got Garland, they got Mobley, they got Allen, they got Mitchell, they got Max Strus, DeAndre Hunter, who they acquired at the trade deadline. Like, they're bringing back the same team, and I do love the consistency of the Cavs. I just think the Knicks are going to have overall a better regular season because they are also bringing back the same team, and they went further than the Cavs did last year. I think Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, another year together. They're going to build on the chemistry they had last year. Overall, the team will just build on the chemistry that they had last year. I don't love Mike Brown as a coach, but Thibodeau kind of wore out his welcome. Maybe Mike Brown just gives them something different in there, and that's obviously the hope, because otherwise, why are you going to fire the guy that got you to the Eastern Conference Finals? I think in the regular season, the vibes will be a little bit higher for the Knicks. They're not going to run everybody into the ground like Thibodeau did either. I do like the addition of Jordan Clarkson. I think coming off the bench, he's a strong change of pace from Jalen Brunson.
They love their Knicks. The Knicks love their Laker guards.
Yeah, so I like that. I like the Knicks this year. I like them to finish as the 1 seed, and then I also have the Magic at 3, and the Magic are great. Like, it would not shock me if they are in the Eastern Conference Finals, because I love the addition of Desmond Bain. They finally have an offense with Desmond Bain, and I expect Paulo to continue to take a leap. Franz, I expect him. They might just be a little too young to make a run to like the finals, maybe even the Eastern Conference Finals. They gotta much like the Thunder, a couple years ago. They got to at least win a playoff series before you're like, all right, this is the team. And you don't often see teams go from not winning a playoff series to all of a sudden making the finals. Like, you got to at least win a few on the way, and they haven't won any. And I think that's what probably holds them back a little bit. But regular season wise, I have them finishing 3rd, and I could see them being honestly a top 2 if the Cavs falter a little bit, or if the Knicks falter a little bit. I could see them being a top 2.
Yeah, I could definitely see that from the Magic. The Magic are going to take that next step. Their defense is already great. They just have to improve their offense, and they did that by getting Desmond Bain. But that is the rankings from us, the standings for the regular season. You wanna give your awards?
I'm only doing MVP. I don't care about these other
Okay.
awards. I'm
Yeah.
most improved rookie. We talked about it a little bit anyway. Rookie, I think it'll be Flag. I don't care about six Alex Caruso for 6 man. Who cares? Most improved, AJ AJ Mitchell for most improved. He's never gonna win it because he's not gonna be an all-star or anything, so it doesn't matter. Clutch player Isaiah Hartenstein will win Clutch Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the
This
Year,
guy's not
Cason
serious.
Wallace. Cason Wallace for Defensive Player of the Year. And all right, MVP, I will be serious about. I will be serious. I think it's going to be Jokic. I think that he essentially got the year off this past year. He's going to put up a triple double again. And I think I think they're going to be the 1 seed. So it's going to be very tough to deny him.
And I just feel like Jokic is basically going to be viewed as like the basketball equivalent of Peyton Manning. When 100 MVPs, only 1 championship, maybe 2.
Yeah. All right. Who do you have in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Eastern Conference Finals, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Detroit Pistons.
Oh, okay. I like that. All right. I have the Knicks against the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I'm not even sure based on my standings is possible because they would be the 1 and the 4 seed. So theoretically, I am already going around my standings.
Same with me. I have the 1 and the 4 seed facing each other. You know what? I'm gonna change my pick because that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna change my pick. And I'm gonna go.
I don't care about.
I'm gonna go with the team that everybody thinks is gonna be in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Cavs, the Orlando Magic.
The Magic was my second pick behind the Pistons. I feel good about the Knicks. It's the Knicks. I really don't feel that good about it, but
I didn't. You see, I didn't even think about that. I was like, no, they're not. Yeah. Everybody thinks they're gonna do it, but no, they're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm sticking with the Knicks and the Pistons, but the Magic being there wouldn't surprise me. The Hawks being there wouldn't surprise me.
It's anybody's game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Knicks though. I think the Knicks against the Pistons. All right, who do you have in the West?
Thunder, Nuggets.
That's fair. I wanted to be a little contrarian and say Nuggets and Rockets in there. I'm always going to be down on my team. So I wanted to be a little contrarian. I even wanted to maybe say like Thunder and Clippers. How about that? Or there. Which, when you hear my championship pick, spoiler alert, that Western Conference Finals wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm going to also go Thunder and Nuggets. Though I think that's what we get here. All right, finals and champion. This is the moment, SP3. We've not let the people down for 4 straight years, so we got a lot to live up to here. For 5 in a row for the FMC duo here. Who do you have winning in the NBA Finals?
I have Thunder versus Cavs with the Oklahoma City Thunder winning in 6.
Man, if it's Thunder and Cavs, I'll be there.
Oh, you better be.
I'm only. Look, I drove to Indiana.
I am manifesting this for you. I want this for you, not for me, but for you.
I mean, I drove to Indiana. Cleveland's 45 minutes. That ain't nothing for me. I went 6 hours, 7 hours to Indiana. That was a haul out there. Cleveland, I'd make that trek easily. So yeah, I'll be there if this happens. This house will be divided if this happens because
it'll be wonderful.
bless my wife, but like she's like, oh, I want you to be happy, but also I grew up Cleveland sports. I might be rooting for. I was like, what are you doing? No, you don't. You don't like the Cavaliers that much to be like, oh, I'm rooting for Cleveland. It's like, baby, you can't name 2 players on this Cavaliers team. Root for me and my happiness. Happy husband, happy life. I'm gonna be miserable if the Thunder. I don't care. I'm gonna be miserable if the Thunder win. I don't know how I set up the pyro for that. I guess I kind of gave thumbs up. I'm gonna be miserable if the Thunder lose and the Cavs win. You're gonna be like kind of excited if the Cavs win, but not really. You're not gonna care past like.
I guess that's the risk she's willing to make.
That's why I can't have like a Thunder and Cavs finals. I just can't. I can't do it.
It'll be wonderful.
I can't wait.
What do you have in the finals?
Nuggets, Knicks, Denver Nuggets, NBA champion. That is my prediction. I think the Knicks get there. I think they learn from last season. I think they take another step. They went through their growing pains last year. Jalen Brunson's excellent. I think they get there. The East is weak. I think they get there this year. And then the Nuggets, it's tough to just believe that Jokic is going to be denied again. Like he's just so good that it's tough for me to be with this team that he has right now. And this might be maybe their last kind of shot at it because Murray's not getting any younger or healthier. Aaron Gordon's not getting any younger. He was banged up to end the season. The addition of Cam Johnson is great. Bringing back Bruce Brown, that's great, but another guy not really getting any younger. Christian Brown, very good, but probably not a guy like he's a 4-5 guy. He ain't a guy that's going to be driving things. So this is the best team they've had in a couple of seasons. It feels like this is going to be the year for them. So I'm going with the Denver Nuggets.
I got the Denver and Oklahoma City. That's the NBA Finals for me. I think that goes 7. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but that's the NBA. That's the NBA season preview. So put your money down. Nuggets, Thunder fans. Those are the 2 teams that quite possibly could win the NBA championship this coming season.
That's what we're predicting. And we've been right for 4 straight years. Everybody.
4 straight.
So
going on 5. The biggest streak in NBA basketball talk. There you go.
That's right.